Coming up on the FRC Open Alliance Show, 5417 Eagle Robotics from Texas is back to give us their progress for things. We'll go through some finalized CAD that they're running through, and then detail a lot more in their subsystems, what they're doing. They got a couple of really cool aspects with how they're looking at actually funneling some of the fuel through their robot as well, and then a cool fabric extension that, as an old school FRC person, I'm so excited to see make a comeback in this game as well, too. So let's hear more about their current subsystem progress and how they're doing here on the FRC Open Alliance Show. This video on fun is brought to you by our viewers, supporters, members, and also in partnership with the following. AndyMark provides superior service and reliability that teams expect at andymark.com. From the Robots Launcher Expansion Kit to the SDS MK4 and 5 Swerve modules, your team can be ready for rebuild. Don't forget to stock up on game-specific elements, bumper kits, and new for 2026 products at andymark.com. Osh Cut is a premier metal cutting service for first teams. No minimum order, options for same-day turnaround, guaranteed lead times, and instant online quotes. Osh Cut is offering first teams 50% off any future order up to $200 when you scan the QR code or go to funroboticsnetwork.com/OSHCUT. Just upload a 3D model or plot pattern to get started. Let's welcome back to the FRC Open Alliance Show. It's 5417 Eagle Robotics. We're delighted to have you both back on once again to talk about some progress, your CAD work, and some other stuff you've been working on too. So if you don't mind, for those who haven't seen your previous episode, just reintroduce yourselves, listen to what you do on the team, and let's start hopping into some of your work so far.
Yeah, so my name is Sayun, and I'm the programming manager on Eagle Robotics.
And my name is Arohi, and I'm the subsystem lead on Eagle Robotics. And we've just got a couple things to show you about our CAD progress, our system progress, and just where we are in the season.
So we were on Open Alliance a couple of weeks back, the last time we just had a lot of CAD. But I'm very pleased that the past couple of weeks we worked a lot on our prototypes, and then we have a lot of physical things. We have a full robot CAD. And yeah, we lost a week due to the snowstorm, but we are still back on track, and I would like to go on to the robot CAD now.
So this is the full robot CAD that Sayun just mentioned. We've spent a lot of time integrating our various system components that have been developed over the course of the past couple of weeks. Our team tried our best to use those few snow days that we got to our advantage to do as much CAD as possible. And here you can see it's still a work in progress version, but our mainly fully integrated robot CAD. We have our turret and shooter system up in the front corner, the climb system next to it. And we have a roller-driven system that's going to index our fuel. And we have our intake, which will pivot outward. And then next we'll go over some of the specifics on each different system. So starting with the drivetrain, this is kind of where we're at with our drivetrain CAD. It hasn't gotten much changes from the 3-week point where we were previously. However, we have made some new designs for electronics covers, like we've got a new RoboRio cover. And this year we're actually looking into making sure we place our electronics on our CAD before we start building anything, so we can put holes in our belly pan and other specific parts where we need them, so our electronics will be as secure as possible. We've always had issues in that area, so this year we're trying to take that kind of step forward to improve our designs. For the intake, we have actually started building our intake system. So the CAD that you can see on the far left is the current function of the CAD right now. It looks a little bit different than the system that we actually built. This system here featured these, I'll call them the deer antlers. We were originally going to have a rigid back panel for our intake, so that when we extend it out, we could have a hopper extension and collect more fuel in our robot. However, we realized that when we'd fold up this intake system into our robot, it just took up way too much space. It caused too many conflicts with other systems. So the current plan is to make a cut about here to make it look like our CAD plates again. And we are going to add an accordion fabric extension. This is the prototype of that system. So the fabric will be able to accordion out whenever the intake is dropped down and get pulled back in using spring action. And we're also planning to put another piece of fabric over the top, so it'll both function as a back plate and a roof to collect as much fuel as possible. Next, moving on to our roller system for our indexer. This is one of the more underdeveloped parts of our robot right now because we've been messing with multiple different indexing systems to figure out something that would fit best into the configuration of our intake to our shooter. So we settled on using a roller system. This bigger roller square that you see here is the main agitator. It'll take the fuel from the intake and move them into the second phase of the system. The second phase will have a set of rollers on the top and the bottom, providing compression as the fuel go into our shooter. So we can just get as much energy on that fuel as we can before we're sending them out of our robot to make sure that we can reach all of our fuel targets accurately. And in addition to this, there is currently a blind spot on our robot CAD where we don't have any area that the balls are getting agitated to. And we're likely going to put a sloped plane on that area just so we can use gravity to our advantage to get to vector the balls exactly where we need them to be. For our shooter system, this here is a test of our most current prototype. We put our angle hood at the maximum like vertical limit and just wanted to see how high the fuel would get when we shot them going up. And apologies for the bad quality. This was shot like at a late practice. But you can see that our shooter is able to intake fuel really quickly and output them pretty high, but with a lot of variation. So we're still looking to fine-tuning our shooter. Here you can see the CAD and close-up view of the prototype shooter. The CAD has been expanded to include our adjustable hood, which is going to be powered by a rev torque servo. And our indexer has actually been simplified and improved to just be a straight belt point compared to a different system that we used to use. We are also adding a limelight onto our turret so we can make sure to track April tags to always have an eye on the hub. This is the evolution of our feeder system into our turret. We originally started with a system that had 5 or 6 different roller components, and they were all geared up, and whenever we ran the system, it would skip a lot, and it was just not a very efficient system to vector our balls into the shooter. So we opted for a simpler system, the one you can see on the right here, that just has a guide ramp and a single set of rollers that allows the fuel to be pushed up easily into the shooter and shot out. And now for the turret system. Do you have a picture here?
No. Let me just go back to this.
Okay.
So currently our limelight is on the back of our shooter, but eventually, like the catches, we'd like to move that limelight to the front. So again, we can track the hub as we move, and hopefully we'll shoot while we move. And also, we'd like to have two limelights on our robot. One that'll be on the turret, and one just fixed on the drivetrain of the robot, just so we can like have like nice odometry and like figure out where we are on the field, which will be really nice to have. And yeah, that was it.
That's it. All right.
Yeah.
And now onto our climb system. Our team has done a lot of thinking about the mechanics of our climb system, as it's one of the hardest parts to both integrate in our robot and get functional. So we've settled for this kind of dual stage hook system where the internal set of hooks will latch onto whatever bar you're trying to climb up first, then pull the robot up. Then the secondary set of hooks will engage with that bar, allowing the robot to remain stationary in that position, where the first set of hooks will then again move to the next bar up until the third level, so we can easily clear the L2 rung. This is kind of the final CAD design that's been done after weeks of iterating the same concept down into something that's very small. It's got a very small package, and it's the best system for our robot and all of our mechanical aspects. And I think that's it for what we have to show.
Can we go back to your roller system real quick? I want to ask you a couple questions on that. So the roller system that you're showing, very interesting in terms of pathing on it. When I looked at like your CAD drawing for it, it looked like, you had maybe a bit of a packaging challenge trying to figure out what would be the right system for you on that, right? Can you just talk a little bit more like, were there some other systems that you tried and maybe weren't the right fit? And then how did this one work out, in terms of being that right packaging for your team?
Sure, yeah. So I'll actually go back to the this full CAD system here. It's
Sure.
a little bit difficult to see, but we knew that the rigid components that we would need to have were our shooter system here, and then of course our climb system and our intake system. And those all come in their own like packaging sizes, which leaves us with a very interesting shape that we need to that we have for our hopper storage, and that we need to move the fuel in. So this the area that we have is kind of this L shape that runs through the majority of our robot and then a little bit into the forward half of the robot. We knew that our feeder from the hopper into the shooter, we knew that that was going to be like a ramp style feeder. So we wanted a straight path from the hopper to that shooter point. So we knew that the front half of the robot would need a straight belt-driven agitator that would be able to provide some compression onto the fuel, which is how we landed on that 2 roller set option, which left us with this rectangular space that we needed to vector balls from the intake into that new feeder mechanism. So we originally were going to have a spindexer design because we believed that we would have way more space in the bottom of our robot to actually move our fuel around. But it turns out that after integrating a lot of our components into our drivetrain, the rectangular shape of the space would be best suited to just a simple belt-driven system. So that's how we decided on the systems that we're using. We're currently still working on getting the exact dimensions of the belts that we're going to use and the size that second part of the indexer is going to take up. But we are set on making a belt design now.
No, great explanation. That makes a lot of sense, and it's always fun to see how teams are going to, tackle this hard packaging challenge. I think your team has done a great job of approaching that too. So, is there anything else that you want to highlight or talk about in terms of any of your subsystems or anything?
Oh yes, I completely forgot. So to maximize our hopper capacity, whenever we're pivoting out our fold down intake, we have our robot will kind of enter a lot of space outside of our bumper that we're not really using to store any fuel. So we of course wanted to have an extendable hopper. But the extendable hopper, as discussed with these kind of deer antlers that were originally going to be part of the extendable hopper, caused a lot of packaging problems. Any rigid materials that you would have would ultimately collide with another system in the robot. So we needed to have something that would be a compliant material and something that could package really easily when it was in its folded state. So we decided on a fabric extension, and that's kind of the way that we're going.
I'm not going to lie. I was really hoping I'd see a team that would do something like that. So it's cool that your team has come up with that, because that's definitely for as an old school FRC person, like that's definitely something we've seen in old school robots. I thought it would definitely make a comeback, and I'm cool. It's really cool to see that your team has chosen to do that so far too. So, but Eagle Robotics, thank you so much for checking in with us once again. It's great to see you all, and we wish you best of luck with your week 1 event coming up. Good luck the rest of the way, and make sure you do check out their build blog as well too.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. Osh Cut is a premier metal cutting service for first teams. No minimum order, options for same-day turnaround, guaranteed lead times, and instant online quotes. Osh Cut is offering first teams 50% off any future order up to $200 when you scan the QR code or go to funroboticsnetwork.com/OSHCUT. Just upload a 3D model or flat pattern to get started. AndyMark provides superior service and reliability that teams expect at andymark.com. From the Robots Launcher Expansion Kit to the SDS MK4 and 5 Swerve modules, your team can be ready for rebuild. Don't forget to stock up on game-specific elements, bumper kits, and new for 2026 products at andymark.com.